Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 250. Who would have thought we'd be 250 episodes in? MLB Raleigh joins the show. We are crazy excited to get into this and the expansion talk. It has been a hot topic lately. But I'm Nick, and we have Harrison. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
I am fantastic. Looking forward to this. I love to geek out on the business of baseball, and this is going to be fun to chat about. And also, 250 episodes, man. That's wild. 250 episodes, 5 million views this month. Like,
It's
who'd
crazy.
have thought when we started off with a podcast to nobody that we'd be where we are?
Right? It's absolutely insane. So we'll get into it, but first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLB Shop, and Lids. If you do any shopping with these companies, please use our links at the tops of our socials as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. We also have our Rounding Third merch store, Rounding Third Baseball on Etsy. You can go on there. We got t-shirts, sweatshirts, tumblers, whole bunch of stuff. Just a great way to get our name out there and to support the podcast. All right, here we go. We're going to introduce our guests, Lou and Ryan from MLB Raleigh. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, first and foremost, congrats, 250.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Thank
it's been a wild ride for us for sure, but pretty awesome. All right, so right off the top, how did you guys get into this whole thing, into heading this group to kind of, for lack of a better word, like cheerleading Raleigh to get MLB baseball here?
Yeah, so Lou and I worked together at IBM and the wonderful Research Triangle, and we're getting drinks one night around the time that Manfred, I think it was 2018, was on, I think it was like First Things First or something like that on FS1. And that was really the first impetus of like, hey, MLB at some point wants to get to 32 teams. And in a casual manner, he threw out 6 cities, and then ESPN ran with it and CBS ran with it. And it became kind of known as like, these are the 6. And so Lou and I just had a real dudes conversation of like, why isn't Raleigh considered a major league city? Like, what would be the reasoning that it wouldn't be considered this? Like, why do we only have the Hurricanes? We support 3 highly touted universities in this triangle area. And so basically, in short, we said, what if we start digging through the data? What if we start finding what's that bullet that kills Raleigh's opportunity? And now it's August of 2025, and we haven't really found that bullet yet. And we joke that we're still married, so things are going well in terms of the amount of time and effort. But our goal is just to showcase what Raleigh has to offer, and using this kind of MLB Raleigh platform as a conduit for good that we've given back to the community through baseball and updating fields and providing jerseys and equipment to helping homeless and people in need. So it's just a way for us to get back while talking baseball, which is something we ultimately love to do.
Yeah. And like, I just add, like, after that conversation, that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to figure out why we're not being mentioned, or even, when one theory was that they keep saying Charlotte, but they're saying Charlotte because they mean North Carolina. And if there was another option, if Raleigh, if there was no other reason why not Raleigh would be listed as well. And so, we started digging into all of it, and just every single thing that came back, whether it be, population, media market, median income, sports overlap, like basically everything that we could try to find that would be viability metrics. And I'm not going to go deep into this because we talk about this all the time, but one of the hugest misconceptions is that most of the time when people look at how big a city is, or should a city have this sport or that sport, is they lazily just go on to Google and they type, how big is the Raleigh metro area? And then you get a number back. and we are pretty low. I think we're like 41st on. We're low on that list.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we are not just like every other city. Okay, most cities like a Nashville, or even a Charlotte, it's a city center, and then there's a population growth. We're 3 population points over on a single commuter belt around Research Triangle Park. That's where everyone goes into work, or at least pre-COVID. Everybody would go into work. And so if you know anything about metro areas, the way they define those is by commuter in and out. And so we're just not a normal city. And so our metro area in 2001, I believe, we did a ton of research into this to understand why they broke our metro into 2. So it used to be the Triangle Metro. When we got the Carolina Hurricanes, it was the Triangle Metro, and we were like a big budding metro area. And then it was split. And then suddenly we have a whole branding crisis on our hands when we're trying, the city, when trying to recruit big businesses, because Raleigh seems small. So we had to kind of tell that story of like, no, this area is not small. And so in other ways, you can look at combined statistical area, but lately we've just been looking at like census radius, and that does apples to apples comparison. So how many people are within 20 miles? How many people are within 60 miles of the city? And so anyways, you start to get that number, and you start to realize how big this area really is. And then we would map it out against current major league teams, other expansion potential cities, and everything just came back like, this is insane. We have to tell somebody. And the best way that we felt to do it was to start a grassroots push for it, just to see what people thought. If we could get it big enough, it'd get into the media, then get into the government, then get into a billionaire. It was such a long shot, but we did it, and the community came through huge, really.
Yeah. I mean, from moving down to this area in 2018 and seeing the fan base that the Carolina Hurricanes has, it is rabid. It is a rabid fan base. I'm from the Northeast. We have the Bruins. Everyone loves the Bruins up there. But like, you go to a Canes game, and these guys have been tailgating since 2:30 in the afternoon, waiting to get into the Canes game. And it's like, I've never seen that before. Right? Like, I mean, the fan base and the fan support here in Raleigh, I don't think people understand like how much people want it here. They really do. They don't want it in Charlotte. I mean, they would like it in North Carolina. Don't get me wrong, but me greedily, it's a half hour closer to get to Raleigh, so I'd love it to go there. But it makes sense for me to have hockey, baseball one place, football, basketball in the other place, to kind of, share the state, if you will.
Yeah, and it's a great point. I mean, hockey wasn't supposed to work, and there was a time that it didn't seem like it was. And winning cures all, but there's also a very, very defined tipping point is when Tom Dundon got involved with the Canes and put the right people in place of the organization, made it a focus on the community and how to kind of reach out and become one with them. And since he's taken over, they've been, I believe, to the playoffs every single year, that they're selling out 120 straight games, that it's the environment that you're talking about. It's a culture. It's the Southern culture of college football tailgating that has taken off for a hockey team. And so when you can have a hockey team in North Carolina that is outdrawing some baseball teams, it's a good sign that now involve the people in Greenville and the people to the coast and southern part of Virginia. Baseball is a complete mainstay in this area, and yet they have one team for a 900-mile radius. That is it's pretty insane.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of minor league teams that are here. I do want to talk to you kind of about that relationship with like the Durham Bulls being so close to Raleigh, because Durham Bull, everybody in the country knows who the Durham Bulls are because of Hollywood, right? Everybody knows their historical minor league franchise. How would that affect a major league team in Raleigh? Or how would, a major league team in Raleigh affect the Bulls, if anything?
Yeah, that was actually like, so that was one of the things that we talked about as we were starting this. Like, what are the absolute non-starters of why hasn't this taken off? I mean, we had a list of like 5 things. And just one being the viability metrics I was just talking about. One was the Durham Bulls. And so if in this area you said, I hope a Major League Baseball team comes to Raleigh, the answer was for 15 years, it can't because of is it Rule 52, Ryan? That's what it was.
Yeah, something about that. Yeah.
Rule 52 in the MLB rule book. And that rule said that you could not have a team basically within, I think it was 25 miles of another team, vaguely written. And the reason everybody around here knew that is because the Durham Bulls used that rule to push, and this is what we're told. The Durham Bulls used that rule to push the Mudcats out, right? I guess they wanted to go to Raleigh. That's what we were told. And so we did digging, and we actually got to like minor league legal let us know that like, no, actually that rule doesn't hold up when it's a higher level, right? So if you're a AAA team, you can't block a major league team from coming. So once we realized, look, it's not a non-starter. It can still happen. Then we started looking for like precedents, like has this happened before and what happened to the minor league teams? And we looked at that point, we were looking at Seattle. So in 1970s, the Mariners came on. You had the Rainiers, 23 miles or 22 miles home plate to home plate. And at the time, Seattle's population was about what Raleigh's is today. And I'm not talking about metro area. Like I'm not talking about the extended area, like the city itself of Raleigh. So it was rather small. And they put the Mariners there. There was a big fight back from the Rainiers because they were going to die. But in a couple of years, they were, middle of minor league baseball in attendance. And the Mariners, I think, were 15th in attendance. So it kind of worked out for both. Now, that doesn't even matter. None of that actually matters anymore since Major League Baseball took over minor league baseball in 2020, 2021, because the last three AAA teams that have come on board, you see what Major League Baseball is doing. They're creating the little fan nodes, right? They're putting these AAA teams right near the parent clubs. So that's part of the process. That's part of what they're trying to do now. That's the strategy. And it fits almost perfectly here where we're 24 miles home plate to, potentially home plate to home plate to the Durham Bulls.
Yeah, there's eight Major League Baseball teams are within 60 miles of their AAA affiliate. Half of Major League Baseball has an affiliate within that same range. So it's nothing new. You have Las Vegas Aviators that are going to be right down the road. Sugarland joined. St. Paul joined, and St. Paul, I think, is like 11 miles. It's next door. And it's not like it was St. Paul and Sugarland were a single A team that made it up to double A. They were independent baseball clubs that were playing in other leagues that they felt this is good enough for us, and they're great fan bases. They're perfect to move up. And I think what we always end up telling people is it's options. There are going to be people that never go to MLB because they love the minor league baseball experience. There's also going to be people that go, Shohei Ohtani is playing down the road. I will be seeing him tonight. And I think it's one of those things that, it's understanding the concept of it's not for everybody. Like there's people that are going to go to an MLB game that never went to a Hurricanes game and vice versa. It's one of those things that give people options. And if you look at, 70 miles away from Raleigh, there's 4.5 million people. I'm pretty sure we feel comfortable that 30,000 of them are going to come to a game on any given night. So,
baseball fans will travel. I mean, living in Maine, like I said before we came on, I drove an hour and a half to get to Boston to go to Fenway Park 5, 6, 7, 8 times a summer. Like, I don't care. I'm going to a baseball game. People will drive for it for sure.
Always. So you guys have brought up a lot of different stats about the area and what makes Raleigh a good market. Are there 2 or 3 stats in particular that you focus on as like these are really the key criteria we know we have working for us to make Raleigh a solid baseball market?
I think a big one, media market's a huge one. Because local media is making up, I think, 23% of revenue for these teams, which is the largest of all the big 4 sports. We're 22nd. We're the 22nd largest media market, totally untapped. We just put out a post yesterday that got a lot of interest. That basically was showing like if you put a team in Nashville, you're overlapping the Braves designated market area. If you put a team in Charlotte, you're doing the same. If you're in Raleigh, you're not even in it. Okay, so we can't even watch the Braves here. So everybody that's in Charlotte, they can. Greensboro, I believe, somewhere in the middle of Greensboro, that gets chopped off, and then you can't see the Braves anywhere east. And then we are blacked out from the Orioles and the Nationals. Major League Baseball we are the second fastest growing area in the nation over the past 10 years, and Major League Baseball can't tap in to monetize this area at all right now. So I think that's a huge stat.
Yeah.
And if you want to take another one.
Oh, man. I just think that the one I always come to is North Carolina in general. It's an absolute baseball hotbed. I think over the last 10 years, North Carolina has been third or fourth in MLB draft picks each and every year. You're talking about quality college. You're talking about the Little League World Series softball is in Greensville, North Carolina. I want to say we have something like 625 Little League teams in this state. And you look at somewhere like Tennessee and they have about 250 less. I mean, it's truly a sport of North Carolina. And by the end of this decade, we could become the 7th most populated state, and we don't have one. And we're passing states that have 2. And I think that's what I come down to. Or we've had plenty of conversations about, do we become MLB North Carolina? Do we become something bigger than that? Just because this market as a state is just huge. We're going to have people coming from Boone and that go to App State games during the spring, and then MLB Raleigh games in the summer, and Wilmington. And you're going to pool from a state that absolutely loves baseball more than anything. And it also happens to be a state that is quite growing in the transplant world. We have more New Yorkers in the Raleigh area than anywhere else in the state. Like there is I know some people are probably rolling their eyes or biting their tongue at the amount of transplants moving in, but it's the Northeast. And if there is a sport that also does very, very well, it's baseball up there. So the transplants that we are getting in this state as a whole also happen to be huge baseball fans as well. So it's not a dilution at all. It's kind of a continual push, but yeah, it's always a fun time talking about the numbers, because I don't think people realize just the magnitude of what this area has to bring.
Yeah, I mean that also like brings up the point is, when we're doing this, we're having to talk about Raleigh versus Charlotte. There's 2 markets really in this state that could have Major League Baseball. Anybody else that's going for expansion, that's not the case. Okay, there's 10 million people in this state. 10.8 or so, this state is the largest state in America that does not have Major League Baseball. And by the time that we are 7th, which I think we're projected to be in 3 years, 7th largest state, every state that is larger than us will have multiple Major League Baseball teams. So I think those are pretty interesting stats. I mean, we have 3 top 50 media markets in our state. Any other expansion contender, 1. So I think those are the stats. There's a ton of stats we put out there. There's local population, and really that's just about like people think Charlotte's so much bigger than Raleigh. It's really not. Like when you talking about the area, you're talking about 20 miles out, there's more people in Raleigh than there is in Charlotte. Put a 60-mile radius, there's more people in Raleigh than there is in Charlotte. And people just would I just think that people do not understand that. And I think that's what is getting a lot of people's attention as well. Not just the push for Major League Baseball, but understanding how big the area they live in really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you talk to most people about North Carolina and they think it's Charlotte's everything, and it's a bunch of country after that. And what you don't realize, there's a huge pockets in North Carolina, and that's how you can support so many great minor league teams, because you do have that population that is not just in one location.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a chat here. So Tom Dunn purchasing the Blazers. This guy, he's from Oregon. He wants a team in Portland real bad. And we're with Captain. Like we want him to get his major league team. If you want to take Seattle off the island out there, like I get it. But with his involvement with the Blazers now, does that affect anything for MLB Raleigh or bringing a team here possibly?
No.
Okay.
I think the Canes released a statement within 20 minutes of Sportico dropping the news of two very important distinctions of he is still actively involved with the Hurricanes and he is still actively involved in trying to get Major League Baseball. And obviously we've had conversations with folks within that group that he's committed fully. And I think that there's this misnomer of Tom Dundon went out to Portland and bought the Trailblazers himself. And they kind of skipped the idea of, well, he's in a group and there's multiple billionaires with him. And he did not front 100% of this. Like, this is one of those things of you see the success he's had with the Hurricanes and the Portland Trailblazers, going off topic from baseball, are the exact same thing as the Hurricanes. So it was a much easier sell for that ownership group to get the team, knowing that somebody that has done exactly what they need to do is involved. And that was a huge selling point. So sorry to Cap. I don't think there's any interest in the Portland baseball side of things. If anything, it's mostly just saying, here's a portfolio that at some point he will be at the table with Manfred. And I think it's really, really powerful to have somebody say, I have been vetted and own an NBA team. I've been vetted and own an NHL team. I'm the next person that you should have within this kind of world. And frankly, none of the expansion groups have it. They either have no billionaire or they're billionaire. I think Salt Lake, the Miller family, owns their MLS team and women's NWLS team. So I think it is something that he can kind of swing a little bit extra weight in any future meetings, knowing that he is part of this kind of big four sports landscape.
And I think a lot of people don't understand, that aren't from here and aren't paying attention, like don't understand Tom's tie to this area. You know, he doesn't live here. You know, he lives in Dallas. But he is very committed here because he just got, he has exclusive rights to develop the 81 acres around the Lenovo Center, which the blueprint is the Battery. If you just saw the numbers, the financials that came out from the Battery last week, that's the new blueprint for sports ownership. Incredible money, incredible amount of tax revenue generation, like it, kind of wild. So, you know, what they're building, what they have in Atlanta, he kind of has the rights to do here now in Raleigh. He's committed. They've already begun the first phase of that. So he's not going to walk away from that. He's actually 2 miles down the road at Lake Crabtree, just purchased. And I think, Ryan, that actually went through today. He actually purchased waterfront around Lake Crabtree with plans to build like a whole entertainment, mixed use development with like water sports type stuff. So he's going to be here for a long time. He's got the 20-year lease with the Hurricanes at the Lenovo Center. They're doing the renovations now. You know, I know that, you know, people are going to ask, you know, is he gone off to Portland? That's not the case. He'd be leaving a lot on the table if he left Raleigh. I think he has a pretty nice setup here. And if you added Major League Baseball to that, he'd be activated. Here, one more interesting thing is the Battery is doing those numbers that they're doing, activated 81 days a year with the Braves.
Wow. The
Lenovo Center here and where they are building this mixed use, you know, kind of Battery-like entertainment and sports district has hockey with the Lenovo Center. They have NC State men's basketball, which plays also in the Lenovo Center. Right next door to that is the Carter Finley Stadium, where they play NC State football. And just imagine you add Major League Baseball to that. You would be activated, I believe it was like 164 days out of the year. So you know, there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of money made in this.
Yeah, you're talking twice as many days. That's wild.
Yeah.
Dang. So, all right, let's bring in the contending cities, if you will. So, we talk expansion on here a lot with our followers and our listeners, and the cities that we've thrown around and we've heard, Nashville, Salt Lake City, Portland, Orlando is kind of out there. We're not really sure what the status of that is because the Rays were in such flux for a while. So from your guys' perspective, which cities do you think are really in it, and which cities are kind of just out there to name a city?
Ooh. All right. So this is where we get in trouble.
If you can't answer it's fine. It's all good.
No. I think we think that it's really funny to go back to that 2018 statement made by Manfred, because 4 of those cities were Mexico City, Vancouver, San Antonio, and Charlotte. Those 4 have had no movement. There's been no group. There's been no ownership. There's been no talk. It's been 7 years of it just being in the ether. If you have a keystone owner, somebody that has a B in their net worth, if you have political structure in terms of from local to state government, they also are in it with this public-private partnership, then you are a legitimate contender. Because if you're not going to get any funding and you have to make this a fully private, it knocks a lot of people down. And frankly, if you're MLB and you're seeing what's happening in Tampa and Oakland, you don't want that. You want there to be this connection between the team and the city that feels long lasting, not I bought this ballpark, now fix it 10 years from now. And so Salt Lake City for sure has it, with an ownership group that's committed, with political backing, with the land and what they want to do. I think that Portland passing the jock tax was important to them, that at least they get a stepping stone and they're trying to work through things. But do they have that keystone member yet? I'm not sure. Nashville, great city. It has a lot of people coming through, but do they have an ownership group? Do they have land? Do they have any of these elements that you would really need? And it's hard thing to get over that their mayor, Freddie O'Connell, is saying, we just put $2 billion into an NFL stadium. Like, if you think that this is going to happen at any time soon, because let's say MLB opens bidding next year and they want to decide by the end of the baseball season in 2027, the Titans will not have played on that field yet. So you're going to ask Nashville for more money, and the $2 billion project they just finished hasn't even had a game in it yet. That's a really, really tough sell. And Austin's starting to make some noise, but again, do they have those kind of marquee pieces to be in the conversation? No. Could they? Could any of these cities tomorrow step forward and say, actually, this is what we have, this is what we have? Absolutely. But for the time being, 2 of them have an owner, and 2 of them have kind of that nice private public partnership starting to work out in a nice way. And it's us in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, which I think is consistent with a lot of the media coverage. A lot of what we've read is, all the hype around Orlando and the Dreamers coming out and putting a package together. Seems like there's, maybe more sizzle than steak.
Orlando's an interesting one too, because they had this whole conference and they're talking about about how we're going to do this. And then I think county commissioners like, we haven't even seen this plan yet. So that's probably not a good sign. And I think if Tampa gets it figured out, there's no shot that MLB will say, you know what we need 3 Florida teams with 2 of them within an hour and a half of each other would just be absolutely insane. So
that don't sell seats.
And the 2 that are already there can't sell out. So
I think, yeah, like Orlando's got to be, their thinking behind the scenes has got to be the Rays are not going to figure something out in Tampa. I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be what they're doing right now. Because it's hard for me to think that they really believe that Major League Baseball will get Tampa figured out, have the Marlins, and then go to Orlando over a Raleigh, even over a Nashville. Hard for me to believe that.
Yeah.
Now,
Don't
are
disagree.
there any cities that we haven't mentioned that have like popped up or joined the chat at all that you guys have heard?
No, I mean, at this point, I think the real focus is Nashville. I think it's
Yep.
I think on the East Coast, I don't know. The Athletic just put out their proposed expansion realignment, had us and Nashville. That's Stephen Nesbitt. That's the guy. He's doing all the research. He's calling people. He's digging in. He's trying to get past the headlines and understand what these groups really have and what the plans are. I believe he has another piece coming out next week that will dive deeper into that. So I think that's our focus right now. Is we think it's on the East Coast, us in Nashville, as the contenders, and then the West Coast, like Portland, Salt Lake City. I'd just say, like, the interesting thing is, like, when he announced expansion in 2018, Portland was almost a foregone conclusion that was going to happen. They had the Portland Diamond Project,
Yep.
and they had Russell Wilson, and they had their sort of their act together. They still didn't have $1 billion or land, but they had a lot of the momentum. And just how quickly it shifted, and everyone forgot about that when Salt Lake City showed up with government backing and a billionaire, and a land and a district, and suddenly, every talking head in baseball is telling you that Salt Lake City's they're the front runner. They have been the front runner. Well, they weren't until all of these pieces came together. Now you look at their market. Right. So the point I'm going to make here is that what we're talking about, having government backing, having the billionaire, having the stadium plan, that's what matters, because everybody's talking about them being the front runner. I believe they are the West Coast front runner, but their market size, they're within 150 miles of Salt Lake City. There's 3.3 million people. In Raleigh, within 150 miles, there's 14 million people. Okay. Within 60 miles, there's 300,000 people in Salt Lake. There's 3.8 million in Raleigh. State population, 3.45 million, Salt Lake City or Utah. Almost 11 million in North Carolina. 22 media market, they're the 29th. 3 in-state top 50 media markets, 1 for them. If you were just going on viability metrics, Salt Lake City would just not even be in the conversation.
But money talks.
Pieces.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're trying to say is it's fine. The media can keep saying Nashville's the leader over and over. I mean, but when it comes down to it, we believe that the bid from Raleigh is going to have all of those pieces. And will Nashville? I mean, I don't know.
Well, the funny thing with Nashville too is it feels like they came out early. They came out hot and heavy early. They had Don Mattingly. They were trotting. They were doing the whole dog and pony show like day 2 after Manfred said anything. And then we've talked about on the podcast many times the fact that they came out fast and then they really went quiet for a while. And it's almost more like the media narrative is trying to keep them engaged, where it seems like they've either gone behind the scenes to get their stuff figured out or they've really got nothing to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're looking into like land at this point because they came out and they had that they have a beautiful rendering right on the river. And I mean, that would be a great spot for a stadium. That had everyone excited. That land is now part of the Titans' new build out with the new stadium. So that's why that rendering has kind of gone away. You don't see that anymore. That land's not available anymore. So they're looking for land. I mean, and we're keeping track of what's going on over there. Like they're looking around. I think Tennessee State. Is that right, Ryan?
Tennessee State, and then one of the more recent ones is there's an old prison site that they're looking at, and working with a developer or a real estate firm to kind of figure something out. But again, it's really quiet. I think it's hard not to have things trickle out in this day and age. And we've prided ourselves, and somehow Raleigh, it's just been little things here and there. But you have Nashville media that go, I don't know what they have, and that's a little bit interesting. And I know this is all gonna come out wildly biased, that the two Raleigh guys are questioning Nashville. It would be really, really tough for anybody to overcome Nashville if they have the pieces. And I think our frustration lies of they don't have the pieces, but it's automatically assumed that it's a 95% chance that they make it, when there is other people one state over that are putting the pieces a little bit faster. So time will tell, and nobody seems to be in a huge rush from that group. And I do think that very, very soon they are going to open it up for Major League Baseball. I think Vegas is about to do a construction update tomorrow, I believe. And so assuming that Tampa gets figured out, that's their ability to say, yep, this is the influx of $4 billion plus into the league, and it'll move fairly fast from there. But we are truly figuring out, how do we make the best impact for not only our community, but to bid in general. And it should be a really, really wild time for people to kind of see these cities start popping up and making their pitch.
Yeah. So go ahead, Harrison.
Well, I want to dive into the MLB Raleigh kind of organization a little bit, because I think expansion's fascinating in the sense that you've got all these pieces that have to come together. You got to find the ownership group, the location, the site. You got to design a ballpark. You got to put all the pieces together. So when you look at this process, what is the role of MLB Raleigh? Because ultimately there's going to be an ownership group that steps in, writes the check, and owns this thing. But what is the role of MLB Raleigh kind of all the way through this process?
Yeah, we've been like totally community focused. We started from the very beginning. We want to educate, first off, this area, have them see the statistics. And, we believe that looking at the statistics, they will begin to believe that we are capable of doing it. And we just want, we kind of want to showcase the passion that this area has for baseball. And so that's kind of where it started out. We needed that to happen first. And we're going to just continue to do that over and over. But yeah, we're not going to be an ownership group. And to be honest with you, I think when we started this, I'll talk about me personally. When we started this, I figured if this is a big success, what happens is an owner gets involved and we just pass it on. We just pass it to them and they take over. But I think as this thing has grown, and it's grown so fast, and the community, and everything we do, we are the community. Every post we make, it goes out into the ethos. Nobody cares unless tons of people share it. All of our events, all of the things we're doing in the community, it's other people in this community literally stepping up and saying, hey, let me help you build the dugouts for the boys club baseball field. Hey, let's host this huge event over at our place. We'll brew a beer. It's been like a real community effort, and we want to showcase that, because I think that's one of the things that Major League Baseball, that we can control and that we can do, is kind of showcase this area as a plus. I think when you look at Tampa, they should be market size. They should be selling out every game, man. That's a massive market.
Huge.
Oakland, massive market, right? So what's missing there? Fan engagement, passion for the game. Those are things you can't really measure, but we want to make sure that when Major League Baseball looks at this market, that's not a question. And so I think that's been one of our main focuses, and our other main focus is to help wherever we can. And I think that's why, we're still involved here, is, just helping with this data, helping with kind of the communication aspect and the marketing aspect. And we feel like that's our role.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was gonna say, I think that's important to like show MLB
Hmm.
also like your outreach in the community, because we turn on a game and it's the players like doing off-site work with the community, and to show that you guys have already started and already got that ball rolling, I think is also just another great way to showcase what Raleigh is as a community. So that's incredible that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, and like Lou said, I don't think in our wildest imaginations it was the dream scenario of whom within political power could we get into their ear, who of a wallet size that would be capable of. I mean, it's kind of a complete daydream, and it was truly a wild idea in a bar that has spun off to this magnitude. But the Hurricanes made two huge hires last year. The president, Doug Worf, focusing on the Hurricanes, focusing on community. How can we build the hockey side? The CEO of an NHL team's predominant focus is for development around the arena and Major League Baseball. And I think that shows the commitment that we talked about recently of Tom Dundon as an owner, that he is opinionated and he is kind of stubborn and strong-willed, but he also understands that he wants to put people that he trusts into certain positions. And so we have a home run derby party. And who shows up? The Hurricanes CEO and the Hurricanes president and 3 city council members. And it's just, that's what you need. And if we can be if our small part is being the glue of all this, or a Raleigh Chamber of Commerce member goes, hey, we're pitching a concept to a business. I saw that stat once on this. Can we pull it? Like, at the end of the day, we want Raleigh to succeed, because if we start getting satellite headquarters, if we start improving transit and infrastructure, that's going to make it our lives better. And it's a way of being that kind of communicator to the group of, is anybody going to go on a Thanksgiving dinner and talk about traffic patterns? No. Are they going to talk about, construction bonds? No. But if you go, hey, if I'm going to go to a Major League Baseball game on a Friday night, and there happens to be a football game on a Thursday night, and I got to figure that, like, that's an easier conversation to have that kind of levels the playing field. So we are hopefully the bullhorn of a lot of people that feel like they're involved, which is really kind of a cool thing. Of, I don't know how many hats and shirts and events we've had. I mean, we're tens of thousands of people have their fingerprint on this one way or another, which is really, really awesome and a unique scenario. But there is a group working for this. This isn't, I think we get mislabeled as a couple of guys that have a website. And it's much, much more than that on a lot of different levels behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to check out your website, your social media, just the amount of activity you have going. Like, going into this, I'm like, MLB Raleigh, there must be a staff of 50, 60, 70 people. It's got to be funded by Dundon as part of this whole deal. And it just looks like, from what you guys are saying, this is such a grassroots, community focused effort. And my question to all this is, how the hell do you get started? Like, how do you bend the ear of the right people? How do you get in the rooms of the people that need to be involved? Like, what does that look like to get this thing off the ground?
Or what bar did you go to get this idea? Because
bar's gone. It's Tyler's Tavern.
Oh, no.
It's
All gone, all gone.
a lot of things in Raleigh. Old ones toned down, new buildings. But yeah, you know what? That on the site, we actually laid it out. Like, we had a couple goals, and we were like, this is only going to work just really one way. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a website, create a brand, make some cool merch, have data totally sourced. So people need to be able to check this data up, make sure we're not lying to them. And they need to be able to consume this and regurgitate this. And we need to make this loud. And if you go to the About Us page, we haven't even touched that page since we launched in 2018, but it's got a plan. And the plan is to, hey, look, it's up to you, community. We're going to you create this site. We're going to spread this data and spread this idea, and it's up to you to take it and run with it. And what we hope happens is you take that and it makes so much noise. We're throwing events where people are talking about it, and eventually it gets into the local media. And once it gets into the local media, we keep going. It gets into the national media. Once it gets into the national media, it becomes a legitimized idea to some. And hopefully we've made a good enough case that the government says, wow, there's a lot of support for this. And looks like there's a lot of tax revenue to be created with this. This could be an economic driver. We want to do this. And once the government gets involved and says, we want to be a partner in this, it's a lot easier to get a billionaire involved, because the billionaire is not going to spend $2 billion on a stadium in this day and age. So they're going to need a partner with the state or the city or the county. And that's kind of the deals that they're looking for. So that was the long-term plan. And so it was a long shot. And we just kept going and kept going. There was just momentum throughout the whole time we were doing it. And eventually, without going too much into the story, somebody who had just worked inside Governor Cooper's campaign office, the ex-budget director, he said, listen, I just retired and I want to let you know we need to work with you. They want to do this. Do you guys want to help? And we say, yes, of course. And, that started it. And then, Tom Dundon came into the fold, and we went, pitched exactly, here's what we're doing. Here's the value that we can create. And, I just think a lot of people don't understand. We have taken zero profit from all the merchandise we create. That was the other thing, is if we are going to do this, we can't I know this is going to sound crazy, but like, we're going to make all these hats and shirts and do all this work. But if we start taking money from that, then this will become like, hey, these guys are just doing this for the hats and the shirts, and they're profiting off this. And people will throw the idea to the side. And especially early on, when we needed people to focus on the viability of this, we needed this to be totally clean and totally transparent. So we took all the money we had, like we fixed up the boys clubs, baseball field. We bought them jerseys. We rebuilt their dugouts with the help of people in the community, gave them a new scoreboard. And so all of the money that we've created off of this thing has gone back into the community, or into throwing events and buying other merch and just keeping that cycle going. And yeah, we're not done. Tom Dundon, his team's not paying us or anything. This is a true community group, community movement. And so I think that story as well helped it get into the media. And that's kind of how we were, that was the plan. We didn't know if we were going to achieve that plan, but it ended up working out.
But it's absolutely incredible what you guys are doing for, I mean, we've all had that moment with our friends. We'd be like, oh, you're sitting at a bar and you're like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we just started that? But you guys have made it happen. And it's incredible. I love it.
Well, and in reality, Raleigh is not even part of the conversation if not for the work that you've done. Because as great a market as Raleigh is, you guys holding up the giant neon sign and, saying, put a team here, has drawn so much attention to that area. That probably wouldn't have got otherwise, because again, people default to Charlotte. They've default to that Charlotte market, and I think you guys have done such an incredible job bringing attention to a market that may have gotten overlooked, if not.
Well, yeah, thanks. One thing that was interesting is that I had been looking. I grew up playing baseball here. I knew there was a baseball market here, and I've seen people try this throughout my life. I'm 40 now. A couple times, not really community group wise, but through political channels, and it might get into the news or it might get into the newspaper here or there. Just the talk of it, maybe 3 times in my life. We tracked down all the people that have tried to do this, as we were setting up this strategy and how we're going to lay this out. And we met with those people. One of them brought, I have somewhere in this office, I have a huge manila folder of printed out mail that this guy, like, this is like before people were sending email, I guess. He was mailing all these people, and he ended up getting involved with the government in Raleigh and trying to make this happen. So we researched how this could work, or what people have done, and what stopped them, and what stood in their way. And we kind of mapped it based on that. So yeah, like we did homework to make sure that we didn't run into any walls that we weren't seeing or something.
Wow. That's
so cool.
Well, so just to let you guys know, I am going to start blasting your stuff all over our page. Like I said, I'm not that far away, but I want to get the word out there for you guys. And it's not even just, it's bigger than baseball, what you guys are doing right now. And I think that's what our platform should be used for. Like, that's what we want to do with our show is build a community. And that's what you guys are doing. And it's phenomenal. So keep up the great work.
Yeah. And no joke, for Nick, I want to see this happen in the worst way, because it happens at least once a week. I'll say, hey, Nick, did you see that play? And he's like, no, I'm blacked out from that team. I'm blacked out from that team. I'm blacked out from that team. I'm like, man, you're blacked out from like half the league. It'd be nice to have a team nearby where he's not blacked out.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I go through your posts all the time. I love the stats. I love what you're putting out, and bringing the notoriety to this area, because it deserves it. And it's, like you said, it's growing like a weed, and it's bursting at the seams here. And people here deserve MLB baseball. They're starving for it.
Yeah. So. Can I ask about the elephant in the room here? We've got a couple of North Carolina guys. I see a Yankee sign and a Red Sox sign. I find it interesting. You've got this kind of melting pot of baseball fans down in that area. What is that? Is that common that you've got just a lot of transplants, a lot of different team allegiances? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, my whole family's in New Jersey, outside of my parents. We got moved down here when I was like in 4th grade. So I've been here for a long time, but I never gave up on the Yankees. I'm raising my son as a Yankees fan. Until we get a team here, and then we'll see what happens. That's gonna be tough. But yeah, I think a lot of times, Ryan, you know the stats on this, like, people will call this Braves country. And really it's because, yes, there was a period of time when the AAA, the Durham Bulls were the Braves affiliate, kind of in the heyday with like Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, and they were on TBS. But I think Ryan found the stats that it was like first off, the Braves are the 5th closest team to Raleigh. I mean, I don't think people understand that. They are the 5th closest team to Raleigh. You have the Orioles. That's right, Ryan, right? You have the Orioles.
As the crow flies. Yeah, direct miles.
Yeah, as the crow flies. Yeah. Orioles, Nationals, Phillies, Pirates, and then the Braves. So, like, straight up, like, Google Earth, drop a pin on each city. Atlanta is the 5th closest. Now, as far as like secondary ticket sales, it's not the Braves, it's the Nationals. As far as Google searches, it's the Yankees. And I think we had one on merchandising.
I think last year the top merch item was Yankee jerseys.
Yeah. So it really is
Is it because you're buying them all?
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, it always fires people up when we talk about Braves, because I do think they own a majority of fandom in all these states, Tennessee, North Carolina, South. Like, we're not going to come on here and be like they're the minority stake owner of the fandom in this area, but it does go down every year. And the further you get away, we talk a lot about it, and we probably even need to talk more. It's generational fandom. It's the grandfather that went to the Cubs games every single summer, and then his kid moved away from Chicago but watched it on WGN. And then his kid doesn't watch it on WGN. They're watching Mike Trout. They're watching all these stars. Like, the youth today, stats will show you, they're more attracted to the players than they are the team. So they'll have a favorite team, but they just as closely follow those 6 or 7 guys that they're they might be a Yankees fan, but they love Pete Alonso. And like, it's just a weird thing that us of our generation would think that's just blasphemy. And I can't believe that kid would do that. But in today's 10-year-old, they don't care as much about the teams. They care about the players. And so we're at that point kind of the dad into kid in North Carolina of, do they watch the Braves? Yeah. Well, all the generations before have, but I have no connection to it. The Bulls aren't affiliate. There's no affiliate in North Carolina for the Braves. I can't watch them on TV. Like, why would I be a fan of them? And so I think that's a huge hurdle that people put way up here, but really it's down here of, if you give people a local team to root for, we're not saying you have to stop being a Yankees fan. We're not saying you have to stop being a Red Sox fan or a Dodgers, but you will eventually see each generation become more and more involved and more and more involved. And you're seeing that with the Hurricanes. Is there Rangers jerseys on any given night? Yes. But it is now a lot of black and red specifically for the Canes. And that's kind of the method of the madness of whether you're rooting for the road team or the home team, your ticket price and your butts and seats are going to be the same. And eventually over time, we would hope that it's 80% North Carolina based folks that go, yep, this is my team. And I rooted for them. And it's quite a thought to think that this entire quarter of the country just only knows one thing. And it's going to be amazing how big people's eyes get when they realize that they have a second option if they wish to.
Yeah. I mean, like you hit the nail right on the head, because when I went home from school, 4th grade, I turned on the TV, the Cubs were on WGN. So like my uncle was like, why aren't you watching the Red Sox? I'm like, I can't, but I can watch the Cubs every day. And when that game got over, guess what was on TBS? It was the Braves. So like even in New England, like a lot of like people were Cubs and Braves fans because that's what was thrown in our face. And it was on national TV. Mm-hmm. I think the way you just laid it out was perfect. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. I do have a question. If we do get a team in Raleigh, what do you want the name to be?
We were just texting.
Yeah, it was, if Tom Dunnan's the owner, I think it's got to be a Swirly Storm thing now that he's going with Hurricane
Trailblazers.
But oh man, that's one of those that's above our pay grade, because somebody that will pay for this team will have all the options in the world. I think we always talk about something involving flight, North Carolina involving that. I think there's always some kind of barbecue reference that's thrown around, but I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of options. And I was going through it today, actually. The amount of navy and red in Major League Baseball is pretty crazy. I thought we were gonna be like, oh man, if we include black and red, like let's just say he carries over that his sports portfolio is just black and red, and Raleigh is NC State black and red, it's Hurricanes black and red. It would make sense that if you're having this district, it's all the same. But yeah, there's not as many teams out there wearing black hats like you thought there would be. But
I don't hate the idea of the Carolina burnt ends if we're taking suggestions.
I think one thing that we thought, you have the Hurricanes, Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, at least to me in this area, I've never heard, no one refers to this area like North Carolina as Carolina. I feel like, as a nickname, sure. And then you have the Carolina Hurricanes. And I think a lot of people assume that you will have a team, the baseball team would be Carolina, with Tom Dunnan owning it. We discuss a lot of like how much of a opportunity there is for the NC. Like there's a lot of C's out there, right? Like it's hard to differentiate yourself if you're going to have a C as your logo. You have the Cubs, you have the Guardians, you have the Reds, and then what? Carolina, another C. There's an opportunity to lean into North Carolina. And what do you give up? North Carolina and South Carolina. I always say, like, people call us the Carolinas. we have as much in common with South Carolina as we do with Tennessee or Virginia. I don't go to South Carolina. I don't know much about South Carolina outside of like Charleston, and I know South Carolina wants to be involved in the,
Of course.
especially when it's Charlotte, it's closer.
Right there.
If the team is in Raleigh, I think it would be an opportunity to own the NC, a hat with the NC lockup. I just think it would good for brand identity. So that would be my vote. So I'm not going to give you a team name. I just would hope that it would be North Carolina, not just Carolina, for branding purposes. And just like the NY, if you're from New York and you don't like baseball, it doesn't matter. You still have a Yankees hat. It's a New York hat, not just a Yankees hat.
Right.
Yes, there's UNC. You could wear that hat, but I just think there's an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that this is going way in the weeds.
That's all right. That's what we do on this show.
We feel strongly that you could create a fan base away from the Braves in Raleigh, Charlotte. Nashville's also getting a lot of transplants. Like, that makes sense. If you look at South Carolina, and there's probably going to be some South Carolina people that hear that and get just angry, but for football, I think they're dispersed of like, yep, I follow the Panthers, I follow the Falcons. It's basketball, it's Hornets, it's Hawks. Like, it's just, they have at least a team that they probably have a rooting interest for. But I don't think there's anything quite like the Braves in South Carolina. Like, it does feel like if I am in, outside of Greenville, or if I'm closer to Clemson, where I'm on that border of Georgia and North Carolina, and that little kind of triangle going up, am I going to leave the Braves if I'm in the same distance of driving to this new team? Like, I don't know. I think it's probably the same way of like on the border of Chattanooga. Are they going to focus on Nashville, or are they going to be like, you know what? I'm just equal distance away from Atlanta. Why would I give up that? Raleigh, though, is in the big old meaty section of North Carolina. That, are we going to get people from Charleston? There was a guy at our event that drove all the way up from Charleston because he's like, I just want one of these hats and to talk to you. And it's just, okay. But like, I think that there would be personal biased opinion of, if we can't do Raleigh because they want a larger subset of fandom, totally get it. But I agree with Lou. I think there's something about having just a North Carolina team. And obviously maybe we have a Carolina alternate or something like that to tie in the full North Carolina, South Carolina. But I think it's a huge opportunity to just make a statement of, does not matter where you're from in this state. This is your team. You're not from a C, you're from an NC. I think that's really kind of an interesting takeaway.
Well, it is in the kind of the connection to New York, where you're right. Like that, the New York hat, you may not even know who the Yankees are, but if you're from New York, you probably own one. It was either given to you or you bought it because it's a New York hat.
Yeah.
I like that idea of a North Carolina hat. Like, maybe I'm not even a baseball fan, but I love North Carolina, so I've got a North Carolina hat, and that just makes a lot of sense. It's a way to kind of make it bigger than baseball. It becomes really more of like a state pride thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen like sales of we released last year. We had a campaign, State of Baseball, and we created the NC hat, and we created the plate with the NC North Carolina flag inside. Ryan is he's the one creating these amazing logos, and those, as soon as we get those in stock, they're gone. I mean, because you're getting sales from all over the state. Like the R is great. Focusing on Raleigh was the right move, to build this thing. But this is going to be the state's bid that goes through Raleigh. That's kind of how we want to position it.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So looking ahead, and not to jump the gun and look too far down the road, but what becomes of MLB Raleigh once the decision is made that Raleigh does or doesn't get baseball? Like, what comes after that?
Probably years either way. Yeah, I don't know.
First let's get it. But there's a large following here that we could this could go many different ways, right? Like obviously there's going to be a team name. There's going to be the team account. Like as soon as that happens, like all the merch and all that, that's, now that's nostalgia merch. Like, you can still get it. It's, very rare. Maybe it's the City Connect. Maybe it becomes the City.
There we go.
That'd be sick.
Although they should make that like an alternate uniform and wear that hat. That'd be cool.
So that'd be cool. But there's options to do. We'll have a following. We love this. We have the community, chiming in all the time. Whether this becomes an account that follows the team, and has like a fun take reporting on them. That's one option. We briefly kind of discussed what we'll do with it, but we're totally focused on let's get this team here, and then at worst case scenario, we throw this, we just hold on to it and throw this thing out. I don't think we'll do that, but
yeah, and I think that's the reason why we started it so community focused. Is if this doesn't work out, we at least did something. Like we helped people. We had conversations about baseball. I would like to think with our work in the youth side that we've gained baseball players that were 6 years old that held a bat for the first time and really got involved in it. So I think that was always the plan B, was to walk away not going, I just lost years of projects. It's, well, I made the connection with these people and we worked with these people and we did this kind of thing. And it's just like to have even this little, like, I don't know if we're necessarily at the big table or at the kids table next to it, but we can at least hear what they're saying at the big kids table. So just that experience alone has been absolutely amazing. And I think that there is, it says in the chat, what's the most likely path to getting a team? I honestly, if I had to put all my money into this, I think there is a point in the future where Raleigh and Nashville have a team. One gets it from expansion and one gets it from a team that just can't work out a deal elsewhere. Again, biased. I think Nashville will be the perfect place to move an existing team, that they can just come in and it becomes the hot ticket item and everything, where it's more grown out of North Carolina and the excitement of that first official draft grabbing a North Carolina guy. I think there would be some really, really big excitement about it that would overshadow a lot of other expansion candidates. So I think at the end of the day, I don't know if this ever officially dies either way. I think that expansion doesn't happen and it doesn't come to Raleigh. I really do think, again, knowing who Tom is, he wants a baseball team. Like this is something that that will happen in the future one way or the other.
So with the pending lockout, right, does that affect you guys at all? Or is it just, business as usual maybe on your level it is, but like the progress towards expansion, how are you guys feeling about that with the pending lockout?
I think the biggest thing is timing. I mean, for both levels of this. For us, we're planning. We plan this huge opening day event. I mean, small potatoes. We'll move that around. But for the entire bid itself, I think there's a timing that needs to be figured out still. And I think some will depend on the potential lockout with the collective bargaining. Because, they're just different ways to do this. And actually, as we were talking to Stephen Nesbitt of The Athletic, when he was putting together his piece, he was saying that he's like, there's so many different expansion groups. Some are putting out renderings all the time and they're creating excitement that way. And, you guys do not have a rendering. And is there, reason for that, or what's your feeling on that? And I think that's true. I think ours is, I don't think the group, that's working on this bid is very interested in, and Brian Fork said this in an interview on like the OG podcast at our event during the Home Run Derby. He's not really worried about what a journalist in New York thinks. who the leader is.
Yeah.
It's do the owners understand that we have a plan? We have a great ownership group. We're going to have a sustainable franchise. And Major League Baseball knows that we have all our ducks in order. That's what they're worried about. So I think that's the timing. Like when there will be a lot more information about what this bid looks like at some point. And I think, the collective bargaining is, collective bargaining has to end before they open up the expansion process.
Okay. I was gonna
right. And so, when do you let your plan, put your plan out there?
Yeah, because we've been talking a lot about, you have 2 major league teams right now, not even in major league stadiums, right? Like that seemed to be like another hurdle, because it's like, if I'm the commissioner, which obviously I'm not, that's why I'm sitting here talking, like you would want them back in major league stadiums before you opened it up to 2 more teams. Also, for me, it just seems like that would be the path, to get these guys into stadiums first and then open it up to expansion. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he's made it very, very clear that they have to get things figured out. It's a really, really bad look. And I think that just overemphasizes the points we've talked about throughout the podcast of MLB, knock on wood, and just understanding the business of baseball. The next 2 moves are the biggest moves that they've probably ever had, because once they hit 32 teams, that's it. That's their league. And I think they're going to be very risk adverse, because Diamondbacks are crying, Brewers were crying, like White Sox are crying. Like, you can't continually every 3 years say, oh shoot, I'm hearing some things. What are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about this? So the next 2 picks, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just go with the safest one, where they go, this is a locked and loaded situation for 50 years. We don't have to worry a thing about this. This is all set up. It's all organized. They have a short-term plan, but they also have a long-term plan of, all right, when 30 years hits and we need to put really big upgrades into this ballpark, what have you done in that first 30 years to make sure we're immediately ready for that next phase of it? But like, it's important. It's important to just be ready. And I think that the timeline has been set. Like, I don't think you're not going to tomorrow. Let's just say, who could we say? Albuquerque, New Mexico. They want to get a Major League Baseball team. It takes years to get through the political world, the land world, the stadium renderings. Like, it takes a long time. It's not a light switch situation. So to have Manfred kind of sound out loud last week of, yep, we're going to expand and we're probably going to have realignment, that happens to coincide a year out from CBA talks really taking place. It is a open invite of, if you are interested in joining this league, you have to start now. You have to start now, because if you start when we officially take those bids after the CBA is finalized, you're late. You will not be able to submit a bid. So you can have your opinions on Manfred, but he does understand the timeline of things of, if you do not on September 1st of this year have a definitive plan of what you need to do moving forward, you won't be ready. So that was a sounding of, get it together, because we're not going to open bids right now. We're not going to open bids until this is figured out, whether there's salary caps or how game structures or whatever the case might be. It was a definitive, whoever we have probably of March of next year is who our pool is going to be. Nobody's going to be all of a sudden show out of nowhere. You will know every city possible by the time the first pitch of opening day happens next year.
And he's running out of time. He has 2029, right? That's his.
Well, that's when he wants to be done. Whether or not, that's when he's planning on being done.
Yeah, and I don't think he leaves without expansion. I really don't.
Agreed.
That puts him in the hall.
Yeah, and I think that also him, he's calculated. Okay, like no matter what you think, like when he's talking about Oakland or when he only says things when he's already talked to all the parties. So, you know, I think him saying that on national TV on ESPN he knew that was coming. I think that was planned. And I think Ryan's correct. So I think that I think they're going to get this done. I just wonder what the collective bargaining is going to end up looking like. But I think right after that, expansion starts up.
Wow. Well, listen, you guys just took me to school because I mean, like I said, I've been on your page. We've been talking about expansion like crazy, but not in depth like you have. Like the information you gave us was absolutely incredible. When's your next event? Because I'm there.
Ooh, good question. For sure. Opening day. Yeah, it's we've got a passionate fan base around here, but if people have a choice between going to an expansion party or opening day of the Hurricanes, we're gonna lose out. So we will probably do a World Series get together and watch some baseball, but whatever, the 4th week of March, we'll have our normal somehow, some way 2,000 people show up to an opening day party. So we'll for sure see you then.
Yes, that's absolutely incredible. So people in the chat, if you haven't already, go on to MLB Raleigh on Facebook, give them a follow, get their stuff out there because we need baseball here in North Carolina. I mean, we have it, but we need MLB here in North Carolina. So thank you for your time. It was absolutely incredible. What you guys are doing for MLB Raleigh and the community is phenomenal. So keep up the great work, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Very jealous of what you guys have gotten to experience, and just really impressed with how much you've gotten done with 2 guys and a website, right?
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
thanks for having
absolutely.
us. Really appreciate it. This is what it's all about. You guys helping spread the word, and we're happy to talk anytime you guys want us on.
Oh yeah, it will happen. We'll definitely have you guys on again because I'm sure this is only going to heat up as we get going these next couple of years. So we will definitely keep the line of communication open. And if there's anything that you want to do to come on and blast it out there, let us know. We'll have you on whenever. But thanks for coming on. It was awesome.
We're rooting for you guys. Want to support you however we can.
All right. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you.
All right, thanks, guys.
See you. Wow.
That's so cool.
That's absolutely incredible.
Can you imagine, like, you're just like sitting there with politicians and billionaires, like just like putting a deal together. I love the comment, you know, we're not at the big kids, we're not at the adults table, we're at the kids table, near the adults table, but
we can hear what they're talking about. But
those guys are totally at the adults table. I mean, they are very influential people down in that area and don't even realize it because they're too humble to, but they're moving the needle in that area like nobody else.
It's absolutely wild. Like I knew that they were making an impact and making a difference, but I didn't understand to the magnitude that they're moving the needle. Like that was absolutely incredible.
Those are kind words, Captain. He was all right for a Yankees fan.
Yeah. I mean, and that was really cool too, is just like them talking about how North Carolina is a melting pot of a whole bunch of transplants with a whole bunch of, you know, different team fandoms, but they can come together for one cause. And like what they're doing for the community as well, it just adds to the aura of this area and what it means. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Doing it for sure.
We definitely have to check in with those guys periodically because I think they're right. I mean, Manfred signaled everybody like, get in or get out. Like this is the time. If you're not ready, then you're not going to be part of this process. And this is gonna heat up a lot for the next kind of year and a half.
Yeah. I mean, they opened my eyes to a lot of different stuff too. And like lately, their contact with the Athletic and what that guy's putting out, like with all the stats, the realignment and all that stuff. Those guys know what they're talking about. And to hear their origin story, it's very similar to ours. Like they're two work colleagues. They go to a bar and they're like, all right, well, how do we do this? And then they've blown it up to this. Absolutely incredible. Where, I throw a post out, Harrison's like, sure.
Yeah, why not?
And bang. Here we are 250 episodes later, Harrison. What?
I mean, we went from 0 views to millions of views. And I remember like we're just doing it for fun. We're like, we don't care if anybody watches. It's just fun to talk baseball. And then all of a sudden people started watching and commenting. And it's like, damn, the community starts building, and it just became so much fun.
Yeah.
And now it's 250 just blew right by. And I mean, man, oh man, that's a lot of episodes.
It really is. I was thinking about it. I started my new job like a year ago yesterday, and I'm like, we've had more episodes than I've worked in the past year. I'm like, that's pretty crazy.
And let's not forget, we launched this podcast like right into the face of a lockout.
Yeah.
And then spent months talking about baseball that wasn't being played.
Yeah.
It was weird time, but I mean, it's been, it's always been a kind of a labor of love and a passion project, and just some guys talking baseball. And it's been awesome to watch more people join us along the way. And then also to get a chance to talk to some of the people we've gotten to talk to. We've had, MLB Raleigh. I mean, who the hell are we to have guys like that come and spend their time with us?
Right. It's really cool. So I want to thank everybody that watches us, supports us. It's been a wild ride. It's getting wilder, if that's even a thing. But I mean, it's been cool. It's been such a fun journey, and the people that come on and talk with us every week, and set their alarm, and then like we're not on like right at 9 o'clock. They message me like, "Hey, where are you guys?" Like that means a lot. Like you guys are being like, "Hey, how come you're not on tonight? What, you guys all right?" And it's like, yeah. We're here. We're getting there.
We're getting our act together.
Yeah. But I mean,
we should literally like film the behind the scenes as we get ready for some of these shows, because sometimes it's hilarious. We're just figuring it out.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty cool, and we can't thank you guys enough. So
yeah, it is honestly, it's so much fun to just come on and talk baseball. When we're making the slides, making the trivia, cutting out the reels, responding to the comments, like as much as that feels like work, it really doesn't feel like work.
No.
I'm just excited to prep another show.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the meat of it. Well,
Captain's correcting you. It's not 9 p.m. He's on here at 6 p.m.
my bad.
I'm pretty sure Captain's on at like 5:45, because he's in the chat with like minute 1.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Candy. Candy's my sister. Really appreciate it. That means a lot. All right, we're already an hour and a half. I'm not complaining, but let's kind of
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it here. Nathaniel Lowe, released by the Nats, signed by the Red Sox, game-tying home run in the bottom of the 9th against the Orioles, although the Red Sox still lost. They got swept by the Orioles, actually. Had a couple more RBIs tonight, I think.
Only a 2-game sweep, but it still hurts.
Yeah. What was your first reaction to this signing?
What the hell?
Same.
I mean, I think we were on the show and the news broke and we're like, wait, what? Like, why go get Nathaniel Lowe? And not that, I mean, Romy's had, he's faded a little bit, so you're kind of wondering like where might some production come from. And Nathaniel Lowe has always been a capable hitter. It didn't work out. It just hasn't been a good season for him. It did not work out with the Nats. And it was still a need for the Red Sox. They, as good as Romy has been for stretches, he's not been great lately. Lowe offers you a left-handed bat with some pop. It's kind of hard to turn that down. But I didn't view him as the answer. Although I will say the bomb he hit in the 9th was quite impressive in his first game with the Red Sox. And I think the Sox are hoping that you'll see more of that from him. You're going to put him in a better lineup, an experienced lineup, a professional lineup, and let him just kind of do his thing. And I think the hope is that you see the Nathaniel Lowe of 2 or 3 years ago, not the Nathaniel Lowe of this year once he gets settled in. And maybe you do. It's not costing them a lot. So why not take a flyer, see what happens? Worst case scenario, it doesn't work out and you move on, you go back to the options you already had. But he is a professional hitter. To me, it was a bit of a surprise that he was getting the call.
Yeah, I mean, my first reaction was, I was like, same with you. Like, why? Like, I mean, I didn't quite understand it. I don't think. I mean, I hope he moves the needle. I really hope he does. But I just don't know if it helps this Red Sox team any. Maybe a change of scenery does. I mean, this guy was a good hitter, put up some decent numbers, like you said, 2 or 3 years ago. Yep. But my initial reaction was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
I think the part that gets me in all this, and we kind of got into it, was Nathaniel Lowe has the ability to be an impact player.
Yes.
We just haven't seen him be that guy in a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe coming to Boston, maybe the energy of the fans, maybe being part of a more professional, experienced lineup. Maybe he just fits in better here. And you see him be that guy again. Do I trust that he's going to be that guy again? No. Could he be? Absolutely. I mean, he could come here and be a monster. I guess we'll just have to see what happens. And Cap and I totally agree. This is one of those low risk, high reward. He's basically being paid by somebody else. You're paying him basically nothing. See what happens.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah. And, Romy Gonzalez, Abraham Toro, like those guys are fading. And we said it all along, like going into the second half of the year, like how long can these guys keep it up? Ref Snyder has had some big hits for them. How long realistically do you get production from these guys? We don't know. And adding Nathaniel Lowe for short money, you could do worse.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you're signing him for what? Probably league minimum. You got him off the scrap heap.
He's being paid by somebody else.
If he
freely.
Right. If he goes 2 weeks and he's hitting $125, you DFA him, and that's that.
Yeah, cost you $100,000 and you wish him good luck.
Right, which I call a slow Tuesday. So
yeah, I mean that's Nick's got that. He lights his fireplace with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe he'll be your guy's Josh Naylor. Maybe.
Could be.
I mean, the thing is, like, Nathaniel Lowe can be that guy. Just haven't seen it in a while. I'd love to see it. I mean, my goodness, like, I'm not sitting here saying I hope he doesn't perform. I'm sitting here going, I don't think he will, but I sure hope he does.
I mean, I get it, there's really none out there, but again, it's another left-handed bat when we need a right-handed power bat at Fenway.
Yeah.
But he will help. Is it that much of a help? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's get to Victor Robles throwing the helicopter at a pitcher here. Suspended 10 games after throwing his bat at the pitcher in his minor league rehab start. Now, I believe this was like his third or fourth time getting hit in the rehab start. Like he just kept getting plunked.
Yeah, I believe he's been. I'm not sure how many times, but he had been plunked before. And you could just see when he got hit, you could just see his head snap around. He was just like, "Are you serious? How many times are you guys gonna hit me?"
And then it was so awesome because the clip was just like, as the bat just you can almost hear it going out to the mound. Man, he hummed that thing.
Yeah, John saying it was 5 times in 3 games.
5 times in 3 games. Yeah, it gets a little excessive after that.
I mean, you get hit a couple of times, you can be like, okay, like guys, pitchers trying to come in on me to make sure I don't get my arms out. Okay, like I'm a major leaguer, but 5 times in 3 games, it's like, okay, now you guys are just like trying to hit me.
Yeah, and that last one was like up in by his chest, like.
Oh yeah, and that doesn't count the couple of pitches he had to dodge that didn't get him.
Right.
Shades of Jose Offerman. I mean, well, I remember the time, was it Trot Nixon against the Rays where we swung the bat and let it go back at like Tangen Sturts or somebody, and helicoptered it right at him like it was a bad swing and he lost the bat. I mean,
I guess. Right. Yeah, I mean, like I've been hit right? And
Oh, it sucks.
it's frustrating even when you get hit once because you're just like, I want to hit. You get hit a second time, you're like, dude, what is going on? But like 5 times in 3 games, like I'd be ripped too. And that's probably why he only got a 10-game suspension. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you would suspect that would probably get him a lot more than 10 games. And I think the league probably looked at it and said, okay, like there's fault on both sides. We can't make it only his problem. However, this is a major league player that knows better than to, yeet, as I think somebody in the comments said, yeet his bat at a pitcher. That's not how you handle it.
No.
Yeah, or this Offerman or Randall Simon kicking. You also have the Izzy Alcantara down in the minor leagues who
that one was
kicked the
nuts.
catcher and chased down the pitcher with his bat.
Yeah,
we've seen some doozies, but I mean, yes, 10 games. Robles he knows better. He should know better. He needs to know better. And that's why I think he got the 10 games. I think he got less because they realized the situation. And Robles came out and really quickly, made the comment of, I know I can't do that. Like that was unacceptable. And he owned it, and I give him credit. He owned it. That was a huge mistake. It was the heat of the moment. He was pissed. He did what he did, but he knew immediately it was wrong.
I mean, it's no different than Bryce Harper going and trying to throw his helmet at the pitcher. That was a few years ago when he charged him on, and luckily it slipped because that pitcher would have died.
I'm pretty sure that helmet ended up back in the dugout. Thank God.
Yeah,
I mean, if he drilled somebody close up, I mean that could have hurt a lot.
Yeah,
we've seen. I think it was Pedro threw his glove at a guy coming at him. Like we've seen guys throw stuff. We all seen Mo Vaughn almost kill George Bell with a tackle. But
oh my God, that's one of the best spears ever, non-football hits ever.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some doozies and just some wild situations with pitchers, but this one's just not. It's not a good look for him, and I'm glad that he owned it and can move on from it.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right,
and John, good point. I mean, he did get hit twice, right in the shoulder that he's recovering from, and I think that was also why he was sensitive to it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
the Clemens one.
That was Still to this day, I'll never understand what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
And he can't even explain it, which is fine.
Yeah.
And yes, Mike Offerman did eventually get arrested and charged with assault when he went after he hit the catcher and the pitcher, I'm pretty sure, with the bat in that fight.
Yeah. How dare my Bryce Harper do that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was not a good moment for Bryce.
No.
And you're right, Captain. A helmet and a glove are way different than a bat. 100%.
Yeah.
They still hurt like hell, but a bat would do a lot more damage.
Especially if it's splintered, Roger Clemens.
Anyways,
moving on. All right, Trey Turner, his 1,500th career hit was a home run. I know we kind of talked about 3,000 career hits here a couple weeks ago. Does Trey Turner have a shot?
I don't think so. I think that what is Trey now? He's been around. I'm always surprised how long he's been around. He's 32. He's been in the league for 11 years. So you probably got another 6 or 7 productive years out of him.
So short.
I mean, I think he's a guy that ends up in the low 2000s, but maybe he gets as high as 2,400 hits, but he's got a long ways to go. I will say that he's had some seasons that have been incredible.
Yes.
He also had kind of a rough start to the career in Philadelphia, which didn't help.
Yeah, and he's very streaky. There's times where it is, it's K, and then there's other times like WBC where it's like, dude, you can't throw this dude anything near the home plate circle, let alone the plate. Like you can't throw anything to him because he's going to hit it 400 feet.
Yep.
But I think
that's
go down. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Yep.
Yeah, and Mike, you feel the same way we do. He's probably in the low 2000s, maybe approaching 2,500. I mean, he's got, you get 6 more good years out of him at 150 hits a year. That puts him on like a 2,400 hit pace. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good run. It's just not going to get him there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more than a lot of other major league players ever reach.
I mean, it's more hits than I got, so I can't really say much about it. But
by like 2,400.
yeah, by at least right now he's at least 1,500 more than me.
Yeah, exactly.
But the funny thing is, did you see what they put on the jumbotron for the 1,500th hit?
No.
So the way they displayed it, it was 1,500 hit, and they were trying to say it was a home run. So it looked like 1,500th home run. So people were like, oh, this dude's got twice as many home runs as Barry Bonds. It looked terrible on the screen, and fans were taking pictures of it and putting on social media that they're trying to claim Trey's got 1,500 home runs. So just the way they displayed it.
Yeah. Corey, listen, when this guy is right, I agree with you. There's no hotter hitter. Like when he is hot, you can't get him out. You can't throw him anything near the plate. He will destroy it. But when he is cold, it's tough baseball to watch. But on the flip side, he's incredible.
Yeah, and he's had some incredible stretches, some really rough stretches, and but I will say overall, he's even in his worst years, he's been pretty good. And he's gonna have he's never gotten to 200 hits. He's gotten close. He won't get there this year either. But I mean, he's putting up yet another solid season. A 300 batting average. He'll end up with 190-ish hits probably, and again, you can just kind of pencil him in for good shortstop play, and a productive top of the order bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Roman Anthony just hit a no doubt 2-run shot. Sick.
Yeah, he's kind of good.
Yeah. All right. Ketel Marte. I'm not defending him here, but if your organization mails it in at the deadline, does it make it right for players to mail it in?
This is a tough one because I mean the Diamondbacks folded up the tent and sold and kind of shut it down, and Ketel Marte is kind of saying, "Why am I busting my butt when we're not trying to win?" But at the same time, like you're trying to build culture, you're trying to build trust with the fan base that this is a team that's going to show up and play hard. It's not a good look for him to be taking extra days off. Now, maybe he's trying to say that he's not doing that. He's got some stuff he's dealing with. He's got, okay, maybe there's some truth to that, but
which he has had some nagging stuff.
He has
throughout the year.
He's a guy who's pretty consistently seems like he's dealing with something, and plays through a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is not a guy that has a hangnail and takes a day off. Like this is a guy who plays through a lot of stuff. But I think for the Diamondbacks right now, it's very much about building culture, resiliency, keeping the trust of that fan base that you're not just going to quit. And it's not a good look when he's taking extra days off. So I understand the kind of the concern, but I don't think Ketel Marte is your problem.
Yeah. Mail it in. I feel attacked, gentlemen. Yes. Sorry, not the Tigers. I know you're a mailman, so not trying to offend you here. Or maybe I am with a not the Tigers name there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. And this is the kind of the point I'm making is fans are still coming to see him. You've got to keep the trust of the fan base that you're going to be out there. You're going to play hard. You're trying to win. You can't make it seem like you don't care because then the fans won't care. And that's all about culture and trust with the fans. And that's where I think they're looking for Ketel Marte to be a more take on more of a leadership role as this team transitions.
Yeah.
They needed that.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point, Captain, but like, you guys all know, I love this dude.
Yep.
And I would have, I said it to Harrison, I think before I went, I go, if I go to Pittsburgh and this guy isn't playing because the Diamondbacks are, looking to ship Gino out. They hadn't yet, but they were looking to get rid of Kelly. Like we knew they were selling when I went to Pittsburgh. I go, if Marte is not on the field, I might be looking at him differently because, we already kind of felt it that the Diamondbacks were like, okay, well, like you said, folding up the tent, going home.
Yep.
Like, but I'm also with you guys. Like it's not okay for these guys to not come out unless they are hurt. Like if you're just going on, you're like, oh, I got a hangnail on my middle finger tonight. I should be out of the lineup. Like, no, No, like we're paying big money. We're paying your salary to come watch you play. You better be on the field.
Yeah, and there are players that will do that. That will look for any excuse to take a night off. Cattell Marte is not one of those guys.
Yeah, right. And you're right. Marte has been the face. He's balled out for Arizona. He is 100%. I mean, he has been the backbone of that team and has done really well. I hope he's not mailing it in. Like, as much as it's weird for me to say, like, I hope he is hurt. Like, I hope he does have a nagging injury. But it's not the murmurs that are coming out of the locker room. Like, this is coming from teammates.
Yeah, this sounds like this is a player's issue where they feel like he's not giving the effort anymore.
Yeah.
Whether right or wrong, or that. But the other part of it too is, I go back to the point I made about trying to build culture. When you've got accusations or concerns or things like that hitting the media, that's a cultural problem. When you've got teammates airing out grievances against the face of the franchise, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah. And Chad, you're right. At this point of the season, everybody's got a nagging injury. And when we had Jim Rowe on when we first talking, he was like, yeah, I saw all 25 guys on the roster every day in the training room.
Yep.
Everyone had something. He's like, as low as they needed their fingernails trimmed to somebody that had to literally stitch his ankle ligament to his ankle bone. Like, that's what he saw in the locker room every day, like towards the end of the season. So crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just tape me up. Other times it's put me back together.
Yep. Yeah. Anthony Rendon. Yeah. We won't even go down that road there, but yeah, crazy. All right. Cam Schlittler. Got to be careful how I say that last name.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a perfect game through 6 innings in Tampa last night, broken up by Chandler Simpson. Again, another close call, but still no. Still no. Still no hitter.
There you go. Go with that.
Sorry. He had great stuff, then got into trouble. Loaded the bases before he left the game. Yankees got out of the jam, but I don't know if you saw any of this, but his first 6 innings, he was good, real good.
He is good, and the funny thing is, like, he's not necessarily one of those like overpowering stuff guys.
No,
but he just like fills up the strike zone, works the edges in the bottom of the zone, and just like makes you hit pitches that you don't want to hit.
Yep,
and does it very well.
Yeah, get the drop button ready. Yeah, no kidding. Cam Schlittler.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, you got to say that slowly because that could go bad for you. But
yeah,
I mean, I think the kid has got the potential to be a, kind of the middle of the rotation innings eater that just gets a lot of quick outs.
No relation to Chandler Simpson, Michael Simpson. Love it. Yeah, I mean. How are we feeling about the Yankees? Are we on the fence about them? Are they gonna make the playoffs? What are they?
I think they're in the same boat as the Red Sox right now. I think they're trying to string enough good games together. And they've been very up and down. I mean, the Red Sox, although they've played well kind of overall, you look at the last few weeks and it's, they sweep somebody, they get swept. They lose 2 out of 3. They lose 2 out of 3. They win 2 out of 3. Like it's very uneven. I think the Yankees are in the same boat. And I think part of that is, I think there's some pressure there. You're getting later in the season and you're not separating yourself. I think another part of it is injuries. Like you just don't have your crew at full staff. Although Aaron Judge is finally looking like he's getting back into the swing of things, which is dangerous. And again, like they have holes that just keep getting exposed.
Yeah, wild card crapshoot between 5 teams. I love what you guys are doing here. Their Yankees season isn't quite in the Schlittler yet.
Jeez.
Oh
my rails God. We go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Yankees and Red Sox battling for that last spot, that last wild card spot. I mean, it could come down to that. This is a huge series for both teams right here. This 4-game set. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, the Yankees have the top wild card spot. The Red Sox are a game and a half behind them. The Mariners are a half game behind the Red Sox, and then you got Kansas City 2 games out, Cleveland 3 games out, Texas 5.5 games out. I mean, it's really, you're kind of down to 5 teams that are really still in this wild card race. The Yankees and the Red Sox are clearly in it, and the top 2 spots, the Mariners are right on their heels. And if you go and drop a few games, next thing you know, Kansas City's taking your seat. It's still close. The Yankees and Red Sox are not guarantees. They've got to be able to string some games together.
I agree.
Red Sox are winning, or did that game just go final? Just went final. So Red Sox took the matchup tonight.
Let's go. All right, Harrison. I hope you almost cheated on this one because some of these are really, really hard. I tried to do silhouettes to make them a little easy, but no, they're not. So this is all trivia based on the number 250. Please help in the chat because some of these are hard. Some of them I think you'll get. But here we go. Which 2 players are the only players in MLB history to have accumulated exactly 250 career steals?
Oh, wow. So we got one Chicago White Sox. We've got one Seattle Mariner.
Yep. I think you can get the Seattle Mariner, although it might shock you. Because you might think it's low for this player, considering how many bases he actually stole in certain seasons.
In Seattle?
Yep.
So, like, good base steals in Seattle, I think of Griffey. I think of Harold Reynolds. I think
it is Harold Reynolds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is Harold Reynolds. 250 career steals. I would have thought it was more.
I mean, he won a stolen base title.
Yeah, with like 83 steals? Like, it was a lot.
Yeah, and then Ricky called him and told him Ricky would have stolen twice as many because Ricky was hurt. But
yeah,
that story is epic.
Yeah, he would have had it stolen he would have had that number
All-Star break. That's right.
Not Steve Sachs. That's a good guess. Yeah, it is Harold Reynolds. Harold Reynolds is the first one. This other one, he played from 1967 to 1981, right in your sweet spot, Harrison.
I mean, I was debating guys like, is it Lance Johnson? Is it somebody like that? That's going back a little ways.
Yeah, this guy was he was a White Sox player. Let's see.
Joe Jackson.
Not that one. There's 2 of this name in there, but there's 2 baseball players with this name in all time. But he was a right fielder. He was a one-time All-Star in 73. Started in Minnesota in 67. I mean, if somebody gets this one, I would be really impressed. I think he would be a good one for our template on the page for sure. But this is Pat Kelly.
Oh, okay. I mean, a name I've clearly heard, not a guy I know much about.
No, same. Like, that's 67 to 81. I couldn't tell you anything about baseball during that time.
That's a tough era because it was really all about the Big Red Machine and not a lot of other things got talked about.
Yep. So those are the only 2 players with 250 career steals, exactly 250 steals.
That's pretty impressive.
All right. This next one, I think you can get 2 out of the 4. So here we go.
We got 4. All right.
Only 4 pitchers have accumulated exactly 250 strikeouts in a single season. Who are they? We have 1886, 1964, 1972, and 2011, which I think is crazy. In all the years of MLB baseball, only exactly 250 career strikeouts has happened 4 times.
I know. I mean, in 250 strikeouts is, I mean, in today's world, that's a lot of strikeouts.
It is.
Back then, that was a good season, but not like a crazy elite season. But 2011, I mean, I know that stride and release is Verlander.
For sure.
1886. There's no way I'm getting this one. Yeah, where's Forrest or Justin with 1886
or Michael?
72. That's a lefty with a long stride. Is that like a Seaver or
Think Tigers, not Seaver.
Tigers?
Pretty dominant lefty for the Tigers back then.
Where are you seeing Seaver in 70? I don't even see that comment in our chat.
You don't?
No, that's weird.
It's 3 up from. It's like right above the Nolan Ryan one from Mike Reed.
Nope, I don't have it.
Weird.
That is weird.
It is Lolich for sure. Yeah,
call,
it's Mickey Lolich.
Good call.
Okay. 1964. Let me bring up the old stat books here. We have got. He's a left-handed pitcher for the Pirates from 62 to 72, then traded to Boston mid-season in 72 to 74.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's a tough one. I'm just going to give you the 1886 one.
Yeah, please.
Since I was only 5 years old when that season happened, but
yeah, I was definitely in diapers for that one.
That is Tony Mullane.
Okay.
It is Bob Veal, John Temple. Bang. Wow. Nice pull, John Temple.
Wow.
Yes. Tony Mullane, Bob Veal, Mickey Lolich, and Justin Verlander. For sure.
Got another Tony Mullane
for the 1886 one. Jamie Moyer.
Obviously.
Don't you worry. All right.
Obviously.
Which 2 pitchers have pitched exactly 250.0 innings in their careers? 2015 to 2022 for Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Boston, and Oakland. And then 2002 to 2010, Texas, Colorado, St. Louis, and Minnesota.
There's like a million players that have pitched a very little.
These 2 would be pretty tough pulls, but I know obviously you've heard of both of them.
So this one of these guys pitched in Boston. I feel like I should know that one.
I mean, relief pitcher. I mean, he started 1 career game for Pittsburgh. Otherwise than that, he was in Boston in 2021 for 4 games.
Oh, geez. That's going to be no help.
No, from 2021 on, he literally just bounced around. It looked like he just got DFA'd in 21.
Jeez.
But these ones are extremely tough. I'm not gonna lie, I Googled it. Whatever happened. Yep. Oh wow! So he knew the Mullane one because he pitched amphibiously. It's pretty cool. It's not Jason Marquis. Nope.
He pitched so he pitched in water and land.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's why I said it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I have no idea who these guys
All
are.
right. This is I don't think anyone will get it. So you've definitely heard these names. This is Michael Feliz is the righty. And and Randy Flores.
Randy Flores was not nobody, but
nope. Only 2 pitchers to have exactly 250 career innings flat.
Okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember Michael Feliz, not with the Red Sox, because I probably just missed him in the 4 games he pitched, but
yeah, exactly. DFA'd would be the title of my autobiography. Oh man. All right. Who are the 4 retired players from 1990 to current with exactly 250 career RBIs?
Oh boy.
1990 to 1997, all for Boston. 1995 to 2008, mostly known for the Padres. 2005 to 2012, mostly known for the Marlins. 2005 to 2010, mostly known for the Indians.
The Red Sox player, is that Scott Cooper?
Nope, on the right track, but not Scott Cooper. It's a righty.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes these silhouettes mess with me.
Yeah, he's on the follow through on this one.
Yeah, got it. It's hard to tell. Like he could be on the follow through left-handed, but anyways, okay. Right-handed. All Red Sox.
Yes, sir.
That's not going to be a Fry. That's not going to be a.
It's not J Ram. That's a good guess, Captain. Think infielder.
Oh, was it Timmy Nearing?
It is Tim Nearing.
Okay.
Yep, he's the first one. The second one is from Framingham, Mass. He started in St. Louis in 95, went to the Padres in 97, 98. And then he had some not really good, but his best seasons were 2004, 2005, 2006 with Colorado and San Diego, where he had 9 home runs, 40 RBIs. He was like a utility outfielder / first baseman.
Yeah. Okay. So not a. Would have been on those cargo teams.
Yep.
But who played around him?
He had the same name as a first baseman in Kansas City.
Sweeney?
It is Sweeney. It's Mark Sweeney.
Oh, Mark Sweeney. Okay. I remember Mark Sweeney.
Yeah, there's Mike Sweeney and Mark Sweeney kind of at the same time. This next guy started in Florida 2005 to 2009, pretty much where he got a name. He spent 52 games in Boston in 2010, 21 in Oakland that same year, and then ended his career with Cincinnati and the Padres.
All right, so not Cliff Floyd.
Not Cliff Floyd.
There's another Marlins outfield that played for the Red Sox, and I'm trying to remember who it was.
This would be a decent poll, but you'd be like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, I can picture him. Kind of a tall lefty.
Not Caminiti, not Renteria, not Merlone.
Rent-a-wreck. That was terrible. Because remember, Cliff Floyd came over. I mean, the Red Sox had a bunch of former Marlins. It was Floyd and Lowell and Hanley.
Yeah,
and
Beckett.
they had like a whole series of Marlins. That's right, Beckett.
It is Jeremy Hermida.
Oh,
Nice, John Carter.
Yeah, I should have gotten Hermida. I remember him.
Yeah. And then the last one, I think he's got one of the best names ever in the MLB. He's got a pretty unique last name. First baseman, Cleveland from 2005 to 2009, and then finished with the Giants in Texas. So just like a little short career, but you definitely know this name.
So he would have been after Hafner.
Or around the same-ish time, I think. Because not a ton of games there.
Okay, it's probably some overlap. So he would have been the first baseman that was kind of overlapping with Hafner.
Yeah.
I can picture him too. Big strong dude. It's a G.
It is a G.
I keep wanting to call him Greco because that's what a kid's name is.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Oh, Garco.
It is Ryan Garco. Yes.
I keep wanting to call him Greco because that's what that's the baby seats and all that crap. And of course, kids, I know Greco, but
yeah,
Garco was
Yes.
Garco had some pop.
Yeah, he did. So yeah, Tim Nearing, Mark Sweeney, Jeremy Hermida, and Ryan Garco, all with exactly 250 career RBI.
Jeremy Hermida was a guy who I always thought would end up being a better major leaguer than he turned out to be.
Yeah.
He had the ability. He just couldn't put it together. Oh, there's John's got it.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Who were the two players in 2024 with exactly 250 total bases? First one's a layup. I think you got this one.
Well, San Diego, I mean, that has to be a rise.
It is a rise. Mm-hmm.
And the
A's one might be a little tricky.
So last year, I mean, I feel like Rooker would have had more than 250.
Yep.
Butler would have had more than 250.
He was a center. He was a center fielder and started as a center fielder for them this year before Denzel Clark came up. And
Blade.
It is JJ Blade. Nice. There we go.
Yep.
Got that one. Yeah. Luis Ariz and JJ Blade. Exactly 250 total bases last year.
Yeah. I feel like Blade kind of just disappeared this year.
Yeah. I think he got hurt early. That's why Clark came up. And then I think he might be back with a club.
Well, yeah, because Clark is now hurt, right? Yeah. John Carter sounds like an Ariz stat. It does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Soderstrom wasn't on the team last year, Michael, but I mean, that's not a bad guess.
That would be a really good guess.
That seems like those guys get 250 total bases every night when that offense is clicking in Sacramento. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's
all right. All right. Who is the only pitcher in MLB history to have exactly 250 career losses?
So the Twins, the Rangers, the Pirates, Cleveland, and Anaheim. Oh, John Carson. Yeah, Blade started today versus the Twins, which makes sense because when Clark went down.
Yeah, I think
Blade got his spot back.
Yeah. Yes, this is Burt be home by 11 for sure.
I love I was like, I feel like we've had this question way back in the past sometime, and I feel like I should know this one.
287 and 250 career record. Crazy.
Jeez. And I love the Chris Berman be home by 11.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. All right. I have a couple more, I believe. Which pitcher has exactly 250 batting strikeouts in their career post 2000?
Interesting. Only the Cardinals or just primarily the Cardinals?
Only the Cardinals.
Oh, okay. So I think that has to be Waino.
It is Waino, Adam Wainwright. Yep.
I think he's the only guy that's got that kind of longevity with that team.
Yep. Struck out 250 times exactly in his career at the plate. Also,
he wasn't terrible with the bat.
No, he also homered on the very first pitch he saw in his career.
Oh, that's right.
So just crazy. All right. Which two players scored exactly 250 runs in their career? Both are post 1990.
2018 to 2024 at the Angels.
You guys both got Wainwright right. Nice job. Nice. Wainwright right. Oh, what am I doing to myself tonight? No. And then Wainwright right. Wainwright correct.
Jeez.
God, my goodness.
It's a mess.
It's always a mess, let's be honest.
Did the Angels' career end in 2024, this player?
He was trying to hang on. I think he was with the Braves his last year.
Okay.
But he was like he reminded us of David Eckstein, kind of the way he played. It was like David Eckstein, then it was this guy kind of right after.
Wasn't he the guy that got pulled into all the Shohei gambling stuff?
I don't know. Was he?
Is this Fletcher?
It is David Fletcher.
Was Fletcher? Maybe I'm mixing up people.
And the other one is indeed Pat Listash, John Carter. Nice job.
Oh, Pat! I used to love Pat Listash.
Yeah. So it is David Fletcher and Pat Listash for sure.
Yeah, Fletcher was placing bets with the same bookie as Ipe.
Oh,
Fletcher got dragged into it all.
okay. All right then.
Fletcher,
I
I think
didn't know
Fletcher was
that.
a link that connected them to Shohei.
Wow. Yeah. So nice. Yep. David Fletcher and Pat Listash have exactly 250 runs. So I did have 2 current players on there, and then I went and checked today, and I had to take them off because Brent Rooker was one, and he got 3 more runs. So yeah, and there was someone else I can't remember. Oh, I think it might have been Altuve was 250 home runs, but he had hit another one, so I had to take that one off too.
Oh,
So.
Yeah.
All right.
Changes every day.
Yep. So, all right. Which current manager had exactly 250 career doubles?
Say Cora didn't hit enough for it to be him. Boone?
Not Boone.
Say wouldn't have been a guy like Kotze. He didn't. Say Dave Roberts didn't hit a ton of doubles.
No.
Who am I forgetting for managers that played or like played well? They're not like Terra Francona who hit like 0.
Right.
Is this an older or younger manager?
It's a little bit older, and
I was
by a
gonna go
little
with
bit, I
Rocco.
mean you
I was
gotta
gonna go
go.
with Rocco next, but I don't think it's him.
You gotta go further back.
Okay, Bochy.
It is Bruce
Yeah.
Bochy for sure.
Bochy could handle a bat okay in his day.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy, exactly 250 career doubles. So
It's a fair number of doubles.
Yep. So that is all I had for 250 trivia. But which was kind of tricky for me to put together because I was trying to find some current guys in there, but nobody's at that 250 or they busted through it by the time we got to our show. So yeah. Well then, do you have anything else for tonight?
Do I have anything? You're damn right I do.
The password is up. You got called
I know.
up?
I was so pumped to see the password get called up. I thought that was cool. He is I mean, he was tearing the minor leagues apart.
Yeah.
And he's pure energy. I think that'll be cool.
The dude is built like a brick shit house too. My God. Did you see it? Do you see that little video clip when they told him he was going up?
No, I didn't.
No, dude. He like stood up and I'm like, dude, that guy is ripped. And he's like 3 of me wide, like at the shoulders. Crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen how big he is, but not like a good. It's hard because these minor league games, the cameras are all like way back, so you don't get a really good sense for how big they really are. Oh, jeez, it's a password.
I also heard his brother username is coming up pretty soon. That's another comment I saw today.
His brother username.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So, anyways, yeah. In other news, Craig Kimbrell to the Astros on a major league deal. The Astros are just trying to find anybody that can get outs late in the game because for some reason lately that's been a problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. And on the TV deal front, are you ready for this?
Bring it.
So reports are MLB and ESPN have an agreement to give ESPN a different slate of games. They won't get Sunday Night Baseball anymore, but they're gonna give them the exclusive rights to sell all out-of-market regular season games digitally and in-market games for 5 clubs. So kind of a way to play matchmaker for things that they can't find a home for. So it's going to give ESPN 30 exclusive games each season that are not Sunday Night Baseball, different night. But also it's going to help ease some of the pain of these other teams that are kind of without a full-time TV deal to help get their games in front of other audiences. So in a way, ESPN's going to keep a slate of games to themselves, but also help broker out more TV options for these other teams.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I was talking to the guys on of MLB Raleigh before we came on. We were kind of talking about that happened.
Yeah. So it's the Guardians, the Padres, the Twins, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies that are all that MLB now controls the rights because their
Right.
TV deals were lost.
Yeah.
ESPN will help push some of those out. In other news, NBC and Major League Baseball are in talks right now for the full former Sunday night package on a 3-year, $600 million deal. So $200 million a year to carry games on NBC and Peacock. That would be the Sunday night games. That would be the wild card games. It'd be a kind of a modified playoff slate on NBC.
And I wonder if those September games we were talking about on Sunday get flexed to Peacock in September.
So that the belief is NBC will get the full Sunday night suite. And Peacock will be like, like Fox Sports 1. Like they're going to get the game that gets flexed off the big network. So Peacock by default picks up some games.
Yeah.
But you'd be on NBC for basically all but September.
Right.
So NBC loves this idea of being able to, they can do Sunday basketball, they can do Sunday football, and then also add Sunday baseball to their suite. Now they kind of control Sundays for kind of the entire year.
Oh, wait. So it would have to go on Peacock.
Yes.
It's not going to be on the NBC national network because they have football there.
Yeah, just in September.
It would. Oh, right. Sorry.
Just you just have some September games that would be getting pushed to Peacock.
Right.
But NBC really desperately wants to dominate that Sunday schedule for the three of the four major sports.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting. And to Mike's point, NBC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is going to be local channels. It's going to be your local NBC carrier. So you're gonna get these games everywhere. ESPN is getting harder to get. They've come off of some cable providers. They're trying to push their own streaming service. NBC is still out there.
Yeah.
So that could be big. So you're gonna see games on ESPN. You're gonna have ESPN helping to backfill holes in the schedule for those 5 teams that don't have TV deals. NBC takes the Sunday night slate, and now all of a sudden, MLB's got 2 national providers who are picking up a couple nights a week. It's good exposure for baseball, and it's kind of a win for everybody in the sense that ESPN gets to keep something, and NBC gets to enter the chat and push it down to all their local and regional providers, which is huge.
If anything I take away from tonight is it might be a newfound respect for Manfred. Now, do I agree with everything he does? No. But the way that the guys from MLB Raleigh laid it out, he's very calculated.
Yes.
And he is starting to solve these issues. And he's not flashy about it. He's not really telling us about it. He just does it and releases it. Right? This was a huge issue. And he just fixed it. Right? Is it completely fixed? No, because Bally Sports is still going to Bally Sports and might lose a couple others. But this is a step in the right direction.
Yep.
This gets more eyeballs on your product in a primetime TV spot. That's incredible. So that's one solution that he's or one problem that he's checked off his box and now ready to move on to the next one.
Yeah, and literally this news is about 4 hours old, so there's still a lot of details coming out. So when we come on Sunday, we'll know a lot more. But there's also reports coming out that ESPN is buying MLB TV, which is not the case. ESPN is just kind of brokering off some of the games. At least that was the report, is that they're going to take a slate of games and then help to fill some other gaps. But
I think what the guys from MLB Raleigh understood when that was broke was you won't be blacked out of those ESPN games on MLB TV. You'll still be able to access the ESPN games on MLB TV.
Yes, because they effectively become the de facto local provider, since there isn't one. Because right now, like when you watch the Rockies, for example, or the Guardians on MLB TV, That's the only place the game is.
Right.
There is no local provider.
Right.
So when ESPN takes those games, they're going to act like a local provider, so the streaming service still goes.
Yeah.
ESPN just pushes them out to TV. There's no streaming deal for ESPN in this. But
Yeah.
there's some reports coming out that saying ESPN is buying all of MLB TV and they're going to stream all of MLB, which is not the case.
Yeah. I think the problem with this, John, is, we do talk about this all the time. We always talk about the Cubs. We always talk about the Braves being on TBS and WGN. We've also talked about how many games you have to put on a summer.
It's a lot.
162 times 15. There's not enough local and national broadcasts to air that. I mean, it'd just be TBS, TNT, USA. You got to find 15 channels to air one game. It's
to fill the slate.
Yeah, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but there just isn't enough channels out there. I mean, unless MLB makes 15 separate national channels and puts the teams on there, I don't know how you do it.
Well, and like even the NFL isn't necessarily national, because like when you turn on your local Fox station, it's playing whatever game is considered to be in your market.
Right.
So if you're watching Fox in, Massachusetts or Texas or California, you're seeing different games.
Right.
So although they're national deals, they kind of pick and choose what their local affiliates show for a game based on what kind of draw it is for that audience.
Yep.
But they do have discretion in terms of which games they want to pick up. Like they get to choose. So if you're stuck with a real crappy match, if we've got one of the crappy matchups on the schedule, you can skip that and go take a better game.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The Sox, the game is on TV 38. Like the coverage was terrible too, but
yeah.
Baseball is tough because of the everyday routine of it. It really is.
Yeah.
But I do think that, having one game a week on ESPN, one game a week on NBC, like at least you're going to be able to push more baseball out to a bigger audience. And then you still have MLB TV sitting behind it. All of your local deals with like the Bally's of the world and the Comcast Sportsnets of the world, which NBC is owned by Comcast. So there's probably some interesting overlap there. You can totally expose MLB to a lot more fans without having to completely turn the TV package on its head.
Yeah. I mean, John, I agree. The channels out there aren't great to choose from right now. I get it.
I would rather see them put baseball on some of these channels versus the other crap they play, but fair point.
Yeah. Something will be better than nothing as far as national coverage, because there's nothing now. Yeah.
And ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is, I think, for many of us, we remember that from when we were kids. But the problem is that ESPN's coverage really hasn't improved in all those years. If anything, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
And I think NBC's proven with their Sunday Night Football and what they've done with basketball that, they're serious about sports. Maybe more so than ESPN even is anymore.
Yeah.
ESPN's too focused on its original content and its stupid talk shows. Like they just fill the airwaves with these nonsense talk shows. I think ESPN would be a great Sunday night partner. I think throwing ESPN a few games just to keep it out there is good. Keep ESPN interested because they are still a sports powerhouse, and keep letting the local deals play out. I think it's a win across the board. And the best news was a couple days ago when Apple basically said, we're out. Like, this is too rich for our blood.
Thank
and
God.
I was just like, amen. I'm so glad they're out.
Brutal.
I could not have. If Apple TV won, I think that would have been the death of baseball.
Single-handedly.
Yep. So I think so. In other words, great news for baseball for where the TV and media package is heading.
Just in time to not have any games to put in those.
Yeah,
things.
we'll have 1 year of coverage and then they go away. So, anyways,
my God.
So a lot more information to come out because this is fresh news, but I think all in all, it's good. So we'll break it down. No, I do not love watching The Jump. I do not love watching whoever those guys are in the morning that sit around the table and just like blabber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
Mike, Apple Broadcast, they're terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah. Unwatchable for sure.
And yeah, ESPN, if you ram Stephen A. Smith down the world's throat any more than you already do, people should have the right to just like cancel ESPN alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah, and I do like, there's a comment back up here. Where was it? Oh, there, John Temple. I can't wait for Amazon to get involved and have you guys call games. Hell yeah.
That'd be sick.
I'm in.
I would love it. Yep.
I'm in.
Man.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
so at least the nice thing is at least we're getting some clarity and some progress on the TV thing, because that for those 5 teams that are still kind of without a home, yeah, having ESPN pick some games up and push you out there will help.
Yes, absolutely. But dang. Well, I want to thank MLB Raleigh for coming on and talking to us about that, and like getting some like in-depth detail about what they do, what they did to start, some behind the scenes stuff. It was absolutely incredible to hear 2 guys talk about what they actually know is going on. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we've been sitting here just speculating what we think's going to happen. These guys have a pulse on it. Like,
Yes.
they are on the front lines. They hear everything. They dive in and do their own research, which was absolutely incredible to hear. But what blew me away was their giving back to the community. I thought was really incredible to hear. I wish society and more pages and more community stuff or social media stuff was like that. To give back to a community like that is absolutely incredible. So,
Well, and then to realize like these guys aren't making anything from this. This is pure passion for the area, for baseball, for wanting to see it succeed. And I think that's the part that gets lost in all this, is there are so many people working to make this a reality that have no personal gain from it. They have nothing to personally gain from this. They are pouring their time and energy into this because they love it and it means something to them.
yeah. And they're absolutely right. I mean, this area is booming. It is insane. I mean, it might not look like it because of how they laid out the city of Raleigh. It's big, like land area. It's big because that's how they made it. They made green spaces. They made spaces for them to be able to build.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as big as it actually is.
No. And then you got Durham and Chapel Hill right around it that also have, you know, tons of college kids. You have like massive colleges. Like, there's a lot of population here. Baseball would thrive here. I know it would. So yeah, they're on the right track, man. I mean,
so
what
cool.
they're doing is incredible. And I hope they have put Raleigh on the map, and I hope giving them a platform to get even more eyeballs on them pushes it even further.
Yeah, I am in awe of what they've been able to accomplish and do and how they've done it, and very jealous of the people they've met, the conversations they've had, the impact they've made, because even if they don't get expansion baseball, what they've done for that community in that area to raise its profile will pay off for years beyond the work they've done.
Yeah, and they said it like, and I've never even given this a thought, right? These next 2 teams are it. That's it. 32 is as big as you're ever going to get.
It'd be hard to get any bigger than that.
But it doesn't mean that you're not out of it.
Yeah.
You got Chase Field in Arizona falling apart. You got All-American Field in Brewers and Milwaukee falling apart. Like, you have stadiums that are deteriorating.
And you're going to have other teams that come up with the same issue going down the road.
Right. And you got the Rays, like, in that you're going to have turmoil in the front office. So instead of putting them in a different city, in a different stadium in a different city, just move them to one of these spots.
Yep.
You know? Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, the door is not closed if they don't get an expansion team. Now, is it a setback and will it hurt? Yeah, but the door's not closed.
Right. And I've never thought of it that way. There's
Yeah.
still chances that teams can move to a market.
Yeah, and that was a really interesting perspective that, I don't think we've considered, is the fact that there's, this might be the last round of expansion we see, but doesn't mean teams won't move.
Right.
I mean, the Rays may be moving for all we know. I mean, that's not the plan, but if you can't get Tampa St. Pete figured out, you may have to move them.
Yeah.
You may have no choice.
Yeah, and Arizona's over there pointing fingers at each other, being like, "You have to remodel the stadium. No, you have to. No, it's on you. No, it's on you." So it's like,
right.
At what point do they pack up and go?
Well, Milwaukee's in the same boat. They're arguing over
Yeah.
who's responsible for what. It's like, well, you guys have a lease and an agreement. Why don't you just go grab that and see what it says?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't say anything, then you guys both screwed up.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, absolutely incredible. But yeah, Harrison, this has been an incredible ride. I can't believe we've gotten to 250 episodes. This is crazy.
I can't believe these folks keep coming back.
I know, it's awesome. The people we've met in our past 250 episode journey has been incredible. And we meet new people every week, and that's what makes this community so awesome. But yeah, we keep trucking along, and we got 250 more coming up. So
sure do.
Pretty awesome. So thank you to everybody in the chat. We do have a guest next Sunday, though.
Monday.
For episode Monday. That's right. Good
Monday.
call. We our special programming note, it will be Monday night, not Sunday. We have a conflict on Sunday. So it'll be Monday night, 9 p.m. That's a programming note. We will have a guest on that is going to bring on some history about some unbreakable records. And our guest will be none other than not the Tigers. So, or whatever his name, Nick's Mix.
Nick's Mix, not the Tigers.
And Yated Hanky. Yes, Yated Hanky was the other one. But no, Michael Simpson will be on with us Monday night at 9 p.m. to discuss some unbreakable records in history and kind of go down the road there. So pretty excited about that.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, some pretty cool stuff. So,
and what I find interesting too is as we get to know more of you, like we find out that there are, we have some pretty big baseball fans, trivia fans, history buffs in the group.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to be able to have you guys come on and share what you know and love, and it's awesome. I love it.
Are they a dork? 1,000%. They're part of the crew. So they're in the chat with you. You talk to them all the time. John Carter, this would be awesome to have like our own have our own award show at the end of the year. That'd be sick.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael will be joining us closer to 9:30, but we'll kick off the show at 9.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah.
We should totally have our own rounding the rounding 30s.
The rounding 30s.
The 30s. We're giving out 30s.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
And have our own little award show.
Yep, the rounding 30s. I love it.
The winner of the most Jamie Moyer mentions in this season goes to.
Oh God, don't do that. Our whole chat will just light up with Jamie Moyer for sure.
Yeah. Dude, I won the Moyer this year. I won the Moyer.
Yeah, right. Yep. I am a dork captain for sure.
Yeah, you remember how Dr. Seuss had thing 1 and thing 2? We've got dork 1 and dork 2.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 6:30 captain. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 9:30, 9 o'clock Eastern, 9:30 Eastern for Michael, 6:30. Captain, you're going to be here long, but you'll be waiting for us. You're almost always here before we are.
Yeah. So we will start the show. Michael will join us around 9:30. Comment of the year. I've had some great ones for sure.
Best Chuck Norris reference goes to.
Yeah. But all right. Well,
the roundies. That's even better.
And that fits too. And that fits.
The roundies.
Definitely. So
yeah, we can rank the Johns.
Goodness gracious.
The John rankings. You might think ranking public bathrooms, but that's fine.
the best John with an H goes to.
Yeah, number one John with an H is
Yeah. Oh man.
number one John on the West Coast that likes the Mariners goes to.
Yeah. Crazy. We'll have to figure something out. I think that'd be a cool off-season thing to do for sure. But
Yeah,
all right.
keep it interesting.
Well, enjoy your weekend. I hope the Red Sox go into the Bronx and just absolutely sweep the pants off the Yankees. That would be great.
Yeah,
Get the
worst thing would be
Royals
a
in there.
4-game would be a 2-2 split, and it'd be boring.
Yeah. So hopefully the Sox can sweep the pants off them. I hope the Mariners keep rolling. John, sorry about your Twins. Whichever team you root for, hope they do well this weekend. And we will see you on Monday. Thank you for 250, fellas. Means a lot.